Look, man. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Kadash shalom. We're now in the ninth month, which began on 11/25. We're in the ninth month that began on 11/25. All right. And the next celebration coming up is Hanukkah, which begins on 12/19. The next new moon, the next Kadash, is going to be on 12/25. 12/25. I know for the in America it's going to be 12/25. For us also over here, right? Next new moon is the same. Okay, so 12/25 for us over here. In India, it's the same for India. All right, so India, Turkey, West Africa, all the way to San Diego. The new moon's gonna be on the 25th, 12/25. When we issue these dates for the new moon, man, I mean, I think we need to understand the fact that we represent an office of Torah, law enforcement, as well as the calendar, and 3 other government officers of Masharah Yasharallah. All right, so when we have the office of calendar and we issue these calendars, all right, one, let me say this, that we've done the research on these calendars years and years ago. Research on these calendars and the dates were put together years ago, you know, but now he's done independent calculations and I've done independent calculations, and then we've had them independent calculations reviewed and cross-referenced and methodically, all right, checked, all right, again, and we come up with the same dates every time. So when we do these dates for the new moon, these are accurate dates issued to you by your government. And one of the problems that we have is that people don't want to represent their government, and they don't want to respect the men that were put in offices over them regarding certain matters. So we got a date for the new moon. That date is accurate, right? The date is accurate, and it's your government. And this is why, this is one of the things that Israel, Yasharallah, needs to work on. You need to work on respecting your government, man. We're not coming to you as civilians with these dates or representing our school or our camp. We come to you representing the government of your people through a methodology which has been proven, all right, which is developed over a 25-year period. There's no other brothers that you can name in Yasharallah right now that have a 20-year track record, 25+ years track record of dealing with, studying, learning, and teaching the calendars and lining it up with the Bible, okay, seamlessly. So we got the right people doing the job. So you might have your dates for the new moon a couple of days off, and your holidays may be a couple of days off. Well, you need to adjust it, man. You need to humble yourself and adjust those days back, because 9 times out of 10, you have not been doing this for over 2 decades, man. So you're dealing with men that's been dealing with in his office for over 2 decades, man. All right, dealing in these calculations and these methodologies, from whether you're dealing with from fractional illumination to a scientific ephemeris from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory from NASA. Now, oh, NASA, that's, okay, well, put it like this. Oh, NASA, that's, they put fake information. Okay, let's say that. But this is from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. The same information that you trusting in and believing in when you get your behind on an airplane, that's the same source of the data that we use, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. The science and the calculation that's used to propel your jet. Right. That is the office inside of NASA where a lot of the raw scientific and celestial data, you understand, comes from.
And again, we deal with the complete cycle of the moon, according to scripture. Okay, we don't come in the middle of a cycle. We don't come at this 2 days after the cycle starts. We deal with the complete cycle from darkness to full illumination back to darkness. That is the cycle of the moon. So if you excuse some days because it's dark, then how do you count those days? You don't count them, so then your calculations will be off by a couple of days.
And it's saying there's also, the Most High has us observing Passover on the Passover and Chag Matazawa, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, on the 14th and 15th day. He has us observing Sukkot or Sakwat, the Feast of Boots, on the 15th day. That's mid-month. All right, 15th day of the month, 14th of the month. Well, based on your calculations, you're going to be really doing it on like the 16th and the 17th day of the month,
Okay.
which means you're going to look on your right-hand side and the moon is not going to be perfectly circled. It's going to be less light. It's going to become a, what they call a waning gibbous. Waning meaning it's getting smaller and smaller. Gibbous meaning it was full, it was round. All right, so it's a waning gibbous, so the light is getting smaller and smaller. So that's why you're looking up the sky and it's off. You got a little bit of moon saying it's the middle of the sky. Everybody knows that the full moon middle of the month, but you're observing the middle of the month on the 14th and the 15th day with the moon not being round, but rather the moon is going to be slightly off on the right-hand side when you look at it, because some of it's going to be missing because it's already been through that mid-month phase. All right, so let's get into the Torah portion we're going to get into today. Is called Toldos, Dowaldoath, which is dealing with the generation. That means generations. It means generations, and the generations of dealing with Jacob and Esau, which is the so-called white man and the so-called so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American in the Americas, and the people that got scattered abroad from Africa and elsewhere through captivity and through slavery. And we also I want to say this also is that, you know, we say so-called European or the Indo-European, but that's actually a misnomer. The Edomite Gentiles had their start of their empires right over here in Turkey, in Turkmenistan, the steppes of Central Asia, all right, the Caucasus Mountains in Georgia, and in ancient southern, way down south, southern Jordan. Okay, so these are the dates. These are the things that we're looking at. That they're not European, so-called. That's the name we put on them. They actually come from Asia, same place we come from. They migrated into Europe and took out the indigenous people that were already over there, which were the children of Japhet. All right, so we want to say that real quick, that they not so-called European. They Edomites, and they came from this part of the world, from Turkey east, and then from Turkey east they went further west, crossed over into the European continental area when they crossed the Strait of what's that, Marmar, or this what's it called, Best something, that strait up there. They crossed the strait, went into Europe, Hungary, all right, Slovenia. And where else? Greece, Italy. You see that? So that's how they got over there. But that's a whole different empire. The ones that were never left stayed in this part of the world. So the portion is from Genesis 25:19 to Genesis 28 and 9. Aprende la luz. All right. Apaga la luz. All right. So, you want to do the first one?
Yeah.
All right, so you guys, oh, you're not going to do it from here?
Yeah.
Oh. And that's,
Nathaniela on Woodward, on Yawada, on Yasha'ala.
Amadwa, Barakwa,
Yabaraka Kam Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Yabaka Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai.
Okay.
All right, so this is a very interesting portion dealing with Esau and Jacob, which is the birth of the so-called white man. I mean, because we can no longer in good conscience call him so-called European.
No.
Because he's in so many areas outside of Europe before he even got to Europe, you know. And then, like I said, this is the longest standing, one of the longest standing European, Edomite empires over 600 years, and didn't go into Europe. Didn't go, mostly was just Asia, Middle East, and North Africa.
Stayed here.
All right, and that's where they stayed at. So, all right, let's go. Genesis 25, verse 19 through 20.
6 verse 9. 5.
6 verse 5. Come.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna go into the Torah.
And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son.
So Toldos or Toldos, that's why they call it generation, because that's the first word of it. Go ahead.
Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Paddan.
Now remember, I think the scripture calls Rebekah a maiden, right? Like Alma, so she was like a young woman. Like at least it had to be like in her between no older than what, like 22, 21. She's called an Alma, unless she was called a Na'ir. I don't think she was called a Na'ir, was she? I think she's called an Alma. Somebody looked it up in the Ibadah about Rebekah and what she was called. I think she was called an Alma when you go into the last week's chapter 20, chapter 24. All right, you can go into, let's go into, let's go into Genesis 24 and look it up when it starts talking about her.
The sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren.
So Rebekah couldn't have children. Go ahead.
And Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
When she got pregnant, Rebekah got pregnant. Go ahead.
And the children struggled together within her.
So notice it says children. So when Isaac got Rebekah pregnant, all right, she became the carrier of twins. She was having 2 boys. Now these are twins to where it's 2 different seeds, right, fertilizing 2 different eggs, right? All right, it's 2 different seeds fertilizing 2 different eggs. Okay? So that's why they look different. And the reason they also can look different is because they come from Noah. And Noah is the father of all of the races. All the nations on the planet Earth had they start with Noah. So in Noah's blood, you have the ability to have all textures of hair, all textures of skin, all shape of eyes, all shapes of nose and ears. So let's not be idiotic and say, well, some of the Israelites, all the Israelites got to look like they African. None of them can look like they Kurdish. None of them can look like they, from this place or outside of Africa, because the father of the Africans is Ham, and Ham's father, all right, is Noah. And Noah is the father of Shem, which is the father of the Israelites. All right? So they all got the same father. You understand?
So the genetic codes all come from Noah and passed down through his sons.
So Noah's the source of everything. And that's the royal lineage and the royal blood that came down from Adam, our father. That's from Adam. And by the way, the word for man over here in Turkey is Adam. Adam is the word for man, Adam. And that's the same word it is in Hebrew, is Adam. Adam and Ayash. All right, so Noah is the father of Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And this guy over here, Isaac, is the father of Esau and Jacob. Esau is the father of the Turks and the people that call themselves Europeans, the Greeks, put it like that. The Greco-Roman Turkish Empire, with the Turks probably a spinoff from the Greco-Romans, all right? And migrated from Turkmenistan also further west. So they're a spinoff, all right? So they came from this part of the world. And Jacob's children went into Israel. got a homeland territory, had an empire that was existing. Understand? Our territory was existing as an empire, conquered and unconquered. All right, for roughly 1,500 years. All right, because 1,000 was it 1446 we came out of Egypt. Then we got set up around 1400. All right, over in our land. So from 1400 we had Noah and them set up. We had not Noah but Joshua set up. Then around 900 BC, 1000 BC, that's when you have who? That's when you have our father David and Solomon setting up the empire. Then from there, it was all downhill. But it started around 1400 with Joshua. All right. So that's when we came up out of Egypt. It was about 1446. And we wandered for 40 years in the wilderness, so that gives us about what, about 1406 then. All right, so 1400. Then Solomon 1,000 years, and then up to 1400 up until like 0, then 70 AD. So that's 1,000, about, like I said, about 1,500 years, man. So we had a long empire. We probably had one of the longest reigning empires on the earth, particularly addressing the kingdom of Judah, because Judah wasn't conquered fully until 70 AD. And that's when we marked the end. And that's why the world hates us, man. Because we look at these Turks, oh, they had an empire for 600, in Rome, so many hundreds of years, but us, 1,000, millennium. We reigned for a millennium. All right. So Esau and Jacob are these twins. So Isaac got Rebekah pregnant, and now she got twins. It said the children what?
And the children struggled together within her.
So the children, which are the twin boys, they fighting, struggling inside of her womb. Okay, go ahead.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Well, if I'm supposed to have, you pray for me to have these babies. If I'm supposed to have these babies, why I'm having all this turmoil? Now, when they say the baby are struggling together within her, they hitting all kinds of things, right? They hitting all kinds of bladders, right? Are they hitting the kidneys? Bladders and kidneys, they hitting all kinds of stuff inside this woman. To the point, I mean, understand, the baby were fighting so much inside her womb. She said, I got to seek counsel. I got to go pray to Yahweh about this because this is unbearable. This is ridiculous. The children were struggling. Everybody saw like, has anybody ever seen like a baby's hand or foot or elbow or something pressed up against the mother's stomach? You ever seen that? You ever seen that? Anybody ever seen that? You seen that? In real life or on TV or something, right? Maybe like a video about a pregnant woman. Well, that's when the baby just moving around, right? They moving around. Imagine there's 2 babies in there moving around. So that's gonna be even more, right? Now imagine this 2 babies in there moving around and they struggling with each other. They fighting each other. So there's all kind of elbows and fists and feet and knees and backside and butts and heads constantly pressing up against the uterus, which makes the skin around the abdomen press out, and then the abdomen's getting pressed backwards into the woman. So she going to the bathroom, her bladder's getting full, probably spitting up a lot of times. So this wasn't like no regular pregnancy. So the 2 strongest nations on the planet Earth, right, the so-called white man, the so-called Native American, Latino, and black man, all right, which most of our people have been conquered now, all right? So we no longer have this great presence on the planet Earth, but we're struggling, and we're gonna get our throne back, as we're gonna see in this prophecy. So the children are struggling within her. Go ahead.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
So 2 manner of people shall be separated from your bowels. Meaning what? It says, Two nations are in her womb. What's those two nations? Esau and Edom. You see, but you've been taught is Esau and Edom, but you've been taught is Europe, Greece, Rome, Turks, Italian, Spanish, French, and then Jacob, which is Israel. But you've been taught is Native American, Hispanic, Jamaican, Cuban, Puerto Rican, Mexican, all right, Choctaw, Cherokee. You've been taught all these false names. But the truth of the matter is that we are one nation of people and we have different faces. All right. So those two nations, the struggle in the earth is foreshadowed by the struggle inside the womb of our mother Rebecca. And that's why black and white people don't and shouldn't be in the same area too much and don't get along. It was never meant for them to just be rocking with each other, at least not on a level of this struggle for power. And that's what you got going on in America right now, is that Esau and Jacob are struggling for power under the Gadite Native American Indians and Judah, the so-called black man, struggling for power against the so-called white man. Because the white man said, I'm going to go over here and conquer Jacob. And that's the struggle. The struggle that you see happening inside the womb, that is the struggle that's happening in America right now. And that's why the American Indian movement, that's why the Brown Berets, that's why the Black Panthers, all right? And that's why the Civil Rights Movement happened in America. Not over here in Turkey, not in Syria, not in Russia, but over in America. Why? Because that's the continuation of the struggle that was happening inside the womb of Rebecca. All right, so the children struggled together within her, and the Most High said, two manner of people, all right? One can jump, white man can't jump. One can dance, one don't really have a lot of rhythm. But he can get it. But he got to study Jacob and grow up around Jacob and be around Jacob, right? To get it. White man can rap. He can play saxophone. He can do jazz. He can play all the different sports, right? See, we had this, but Judah, Israel, Gad sets the pace for him. He can hunt, but it was Gad that was setting the pace for him. Why was there no major fur traders? Understand that. Why were there no major fur trading empires over in Europe? Because they couldn't hunt efficiently, like Gad showed them how to do in the Americas with the bears and the foxes and the different coyotes. It was our forefathers that showed them how to do those things in America. So it's two separate kinds of people, and we're going to see that in the scripture. Two manner of people shall be separated two different directions. We're supposed to be separated. All right, separated. Okay?
From thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
So Jacob is going to be stronger than Esau. Go ahead.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
So Esau is going to be the servant. Esau, Edom is going to serve the younger, which is Jacob, Israel, which is us. We are Jacob. And the so-called white man is going to serve us. All right. Now, this servitude is not talking about any level of servitude that you have happening when one people conquers another people. This servitude is going into the ultimate battle. The ultimate battle that Esau is going to be subjected and going to serve Jacob and going to rise up no more. That's why it's just a matter of time. All right. Time is just there. But the continuation of our struggle in the womb and our victory is going to happen. It's going to happen. But it's up to us as the children of Yasharallah, all right, to remain stronger. Stronger how? The scripture says that the righteous man is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of wicked seduceth him. The way of wickedness, the way of the wicked seduces him. So we have to maintain a higher level of strength, mentally, spiritually, right, physically. Okay, we have to maintain that higher level of strength. Morally, you see, a lot of you Israelites, you have corrupted your morality out of vengeance and imitating and mocking the thing that the so-called white man did and demonstrated and showed toward us. You have to deal with this man justly and righteously by the laws of the Most High, and he's going to get his reward. But you can't go out and say, I'm gonna take it into my own hands. I'm gonna go do this. And you got to do it righteously according to the scriptures. Our judgment upon Esau, the Most High said Israel going to be his battle axe and weapons of war. What does he going to smash the pieces, you understand, smash the nations into pieces. And he's going to lay his vengeance upon Edom by the hand of his people Israel. That's in Ezekiel chapter 25. You can read verses 12 through 15. All right, and then you can read Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 19 and 20. We're going to be his battle axe and weapons of war. We're going to beat the nations into pieces, man. But you got to be stronger, morally, spiritually, all right, ethically, all right, physically, mentally, stronger. You can't stoop to their level. Because when you stoop to their level, they've won the battle. Because now you can't play by their rules. There's not a more wicked and evil man the Most High created outside of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. So if you think you're gonna beat him at his own wicked, evil game, and he's taking direct orders and guidance and direction from Hashatan himself, once you start playing by his rules, the Most High abandons you, man. You got your Torah, your law, your construct to go by. What you about to say?
No, I was gonna say once you do that, you lost.
Yeah, you lost.
Because ultimately, Satan's got his back. He don't have your back.
Right. And the Most High abandons you too once you start playing by Hashatan's rules. All right, so the scripture says what?
The scripture says, and the elder shall serve the younger, and when her days be...
What's that?
No, I got something.
Okay, don't worry about it.
And when her days to be delivered...
So the elder going to serve the younger. When her days what?
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
There were twins in her womb, so 2 baby boys came out, okay?
And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment.
Now this red is not red like a different shade of brown. How do we know that? Because we already been on the planet for thousands of years. You mean to tell me that it was only one shade of brown on the whole planet? We're moving all around the globe now. This is after our father Noah. You had all shades of people already, right? All textures, all different shades of hair, colors of skin. So to isolate this and to point out this means that it had to be something more different than the other brown people on the planet. And that's why the scripture calls it red, Adawam. The scripture calls David red, which is a ruddy, but we do the same thing now, okay? Your cousin that have the little freckles, who they call red, and then Santa Claus' rosy red cheeks is 2 different colors of red.
Opposites.
2 different kinds of red. If he looked red like a so-called white person, you'd be like, well, something's wrong here. Why he look like a so-called white man? But if he look red like a lighter brown skin with a red tone to it, you're gonna call him he's red. Little red. Right? Or big red, like they used to call my sister. They call her Big Red. They called her Big Red or little because it wasn't because of the chewing gum, it's because she was, had like little red skin like chewing gum. That's what they called her, the big red chewing gum back then. And she had like a red tone on her skin, my sister. She wasn't red like a European. You see what I'm saying? Or red like a Turk. All right? So now, the first came out red. This is the beginning of a nation. The Most High is making a whole different nation that has never been on the planet before. So that nation is distinct. That nation looks different. The first came out red. Mm-hmm.
All over like a hairy garment.
Red and hairy, like who? Like Burt Reynolds, like Sylvester Stallone, like Chuck Norris. Red and hair all coming off all his chest.
His back.
Hair right here, hair all on his back, and then red skin. You see? See, they can show these pictures saying Esau's the Arabs and Esau's red like this, but they not red and hairy, they brown and hairy. They ain't red and hairy.
Huh.
They brown and hairy. All right, they brown and hairy. All right. So red all over like red,
All over like a hairy garment.
So hair all over his body like a garment. Mm-hmm.
And they call his name Esau.
Esau, which means he is hairy or wasted away, whichever one you want to look at the etymology as.
And after that came his brother out.
So his brother Jacob came out next.
And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
So Jacob's hand is holding Esau's heel. That's Yahushua. That's the Messiah going to bring down Esau's empire and kingdom. That's us going to bring down Esau's empire and his kingdom. That's Jacob triumphing in the last days over Esau Edom. That's why I said his days are numbered. We're going to get our vengeance upon our evil twin brother, which is the so-called white man. So-called white man is your evil twin brother. He's you. He comes from the same woman and the same man that you come from. It's like you having a twin that look the exact opposite of you and acts evil. Wants to take your land and wants to take you down, take you over. Okay? But I ain't gonna lie though, we're gonna read in the history, Jacob did do Esau a little kind of dirty a little bit.
Yeah.
But man, you hungry, bro. Like, why don't you sell me everything you have? And Esau, like, okay, take it. So the first one all over like a hairy garment, after it came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's head. And he's gonna be the one to take Esau out of power. So the struggle we have against the so-called white man is not a civil rights struggle. It's not an economic struggle. It's not a struggle for the political arena. It's a struggle for eternal rulership, and we've already won. We've already won. But who came out first? Who came out first?
Esau.
But what was Jacob doing? Grabbing his heel. Showing us that the one is going to pull Esau out of his power, as we read in the book of 2nd Ezra, right? Chapter 6, verse 8 and 9. All right? When Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were first born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, right? For Esau is the end of the world. See that play on words? That's how you know it's written in the Hebrew. Esau is the end of the world. How do we say end? Iquab. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Meaning Jacob's heel is going to come, and Jacob's hand is going to come into power once Esau falls. And what does the next verse say? But the hand of man is betwixt them both. Meaning each one of us are wielding the power over the nations and our rulership as a buffer zone between us and our twin brother. So the so-called white man would never outsource his IT for his security, all right? His IT for his infrastructure to us. He'll let us work it, but he'll never outsource it to us. He'll never give us all of the power that he has. He's going to outsource it to the Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs, the Africans. Understand that.
Those that he has a confederacy with, he'll outsource to. Us, he does not trust us. Bottom line.
Only time he trusts us is when he know we love to fight. So he gives us a gun and tells us to go fight a war, boy, and we'll go win that war for him. When it comes to his whole infrastructure, like, we right up on him, but that full control he hasn't given to us.
He's not going to do that.
So Jacob's hand held first the heel of the heel of Esau. So he has that control in his empire, and we got like management of his control. Understand this. How, and this is how the so-called white man just set himself up for failure. All right? How me and you fighting, right? Me and you fight. We fight. Pa, 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 pa. We fight. All right, then we friends, whatever. Then me and you go over and we fight, we fight the people in Seljuk, right? We fight the people in Izmir. We fight the people in Ashkur. We fight the people in Tepecoy, right? We fight the people over in Ankara. We fight the people in Aydin. We fight everybody. we beat him down, me and you. And then we get back home, and you keep beating me down, and the people who I went and fought with you, now you put them over me and have them control the resources and controlling the businesses and the economy where I am. Number one, that's smart, okay, because you don't want me to rise up. So you rather join forces economically, socially, and politically with our common enemy who I fought with you. Understand? Then you trust me. What that is that you fear me more. And that's why the so-called black man, Hispanic, Latino man, Native American man in America, the white man will never give you nothing that's gonna allow you to have any type of thought to rival his empire. Because America is an empire. America is an empire. So he would never give you that. He'd rather give it to the people that you fought. He went into Somalia and fought them. They come to America. Got businesses, stores, and banks, and neighborhoods, and resources, right?
Okay.
Fought against the Vietnamese. Was a dude named An, remember that? An? Remember An, right, from Hudson?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tire shop?
Uh-huh.
All right? Fought against the Philippines, right? Well, not fought against them, kind of, whatever. Yeah, because some of the Filipinos sided with the Spanish, all right? They in America now. Fought against Germany. Man,
Yeah.
killing all kinds of German soldiers. Germans in America now. Polish in America now. Fought against the Russians. Brighton Beach memoirs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Polish, Russians all in America, right? Everybody he fought is in America over you, ruling over you. He let them come on in. Come on in. And the scripture says that those that have a confederacy with him are going to rise up against him in the book of Obadiah. And that's what always happens with the so-called white man. So the scripture says that Jacob's hand was holding Esau's heel.
And his name was called Jacob.
Jacob, which means he deals with the heel. He grabs the heel. Ya'ikwab. He grabs the heel. Ya'ikwab. So here's the heel and it's Ya'ikwab. He's grabbing the heel. So Esau is going to be pulled out of power by his brother, Jacob.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
So Isaac was 60 years old.
And
Now, the scripture says that Rebecca was, when he seen Rebecca, it says she was a Na'ir. So how old? What's the maximum age that she would have been at this time period? Yidmibesh or less than Yidmibesh? I mean, so sexuality, and also we were looking at I Am Not Your Negro, right? By what's the guy's name? Raoul, the guy from Belgium, Germany. I'm Not Your Negro is about the life of or the memoirs. The book was written about James Baldwin, which was an Israelite, but he also was an abomination before the Most High. He liked to deal sexually with other men, so that's wicked and evil. But aside from that, in the book they showed the sister in Arkansas. What was she, like 14? She's about 14 years old. Let's see if somebody's out there. She's about 14 years old, and she looked like she was how old? About what? No, look at the door first, man. Like what? She could pass for 14. It was like 60s, right? The 60s or 50s. Late. All right, so that was like the early 60s. So imagine now going back 2,000 years when the women are more active, doing more things, all right, eating better, healthier foods, all right, and marrying younger. You see that? So Rebecca wasn't Isaac's peer. She wasn't Isaac's peer. She was younger than Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when they got married. So she had to be at the oldest, based on the Hebrew word that we see here. It says Wahana'ira. Wahana'ira is what it says. So she was what? What's the maximum age we want to give her based on the fact that she's called Nair? Maximum. In that time period. In that time period, though. Because
maybe 16.
in that time period, would it have been 16 as in Nair? You think so? As you can say, okay, we'll say 16. So we can say she probably wouldn't have been 17 or 18, right? So Isaac, you know, by the Hebrew, he's robbing the cradle, is what they call it, right? He's robbing the cradle. But at that time, it wasn't called robbing the cradle. It wasn't called robbing the cradle.
It was practical at that time.
I guess. I guess. So now so when he laid with her, she was young. When she came back, you look in Genesis chapter 25, verse 64, when he laid with her initially, when she came back from Haran, and she came back with Eliezer, Abraham's servant. She was a young woman, all right? But this time, as anybody from down south can tell you, when a woman, even 50 years ago, was 15, 16, sometimes 14 years old, they were a lot more mature, a lot more developed, a lot more capable of entering into womanhood, more so than women now that are 18, 19 years old. All right, that are 18, 19 years old right now. All right, so now, how old is Isaac now?
60.
All right, so this is 20 years later. So, she's about how old now? 36? She's about 36 years old. All right, she's about 36 years old now. All right.
And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, and man in the field.
So Esau was a cunning hunter. So Esau liked to go out and kill things, hunt, wise hunter. Okay.
And Jacob was the plain man dwelling in tents.
And it was just dwelling in tents, dwelling in in dwelling in a habitation, just chilling, relaxing in the house. Esau was a man in his field, always out and about, just like a typical white man today. All right, he got a military base all over the world. All right, and that's one of the reasons they probably had to stop. This is a very strategic part of the world. I'm really seeing it the more I'm over here and examine their history. Because it wasn't the Turks, or it wasn't Germany, it wasn't Russia that they wanted to stop. It was that the white people in America wanted to stop other white people around the world from being a military competitor with them, to rival them. So they had to shut down Germany. It ain't the ideology of the Germans. It ain't the ideology of the Russians, because they get along with the Russians. They make money with them. It ain't even the ideology. The Chinese and the Russians got the same ideology. But see, the Chinese ain't hungry for global power. They want the money and economics, and the white men want the same thing, so they can work with that. And with their conflict, they're not gonna have a struggle. All right, but imagine if right at the dawn of major technological leaps in military science, Turkey would have had Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cyprus.
They have a strong
Algeria, Tunisia, Cyprus, maybe Morocco,
mm-hmm.
northern part of Saudi Arabia, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, all right? Syria, I said Syria, part of Jordan, and western Iraq. Imagine that military machine developed in the modern age. And they got allies, and they're working with Belgium, not Belgium, but Bulgaria, Hungary, right? Macedonia, like maybe northern Macedonia, part of Macedonia, right? Everybody understand what I'm saying? Imagine that would have developed at the same time as Russia is developing military strength and power. So what happened was, during the British Mandate of after World War II was over, they divided up the Middle East. British got a lot of it. America got little, supervisory roles or whatever, I would assume. And then sometimes Turkey was just utterly kicked out of that part of the world, because Turkey used to control the Middle East that we're concerned about, and North Africa. And that's how our people came to Turkey as slaves and conquered people, because they took us over and they conquered the lands where we had fled to in the diaspora, and they put us in slavery in their territories and in Turkey we became slaves. All right. So the so-called white man didn't want to compete with that, so they said, okay, we want all of the central power to be concentrated on European allies that we have. Because I believe that the Turks, they sided with, they were on the wrong side of the war, weren't they? And that's how it came to be that they got their land divided and taken away from them. Because if you're on the right side, why you gonna take my land away? I just helped you win this battle over. Why you gonna take my land away? So they had to be siding with who? The Germans. Even to this day, they have excellent. Everybody over here, a lot of people speak what? German. A lot of our people from over here in Turkey go to where?
Germany.
Go to Germany. The brother from Bellevue, right?
Mm-hmm.
That y'all went to see. His family moved over into Germany. Even Lale's family is over in Germany. So they was on Germany's side when the war jumped off as an ally. So yours like, nah, we good on y'all. Take this away from you, take that away from you. All right. All right, go ahead, please.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob.
So anything, an Israelite man, he loved to get that venison, that deer meat. Go down south, man, everybody be waiting for that deer season so they can go out and start hunting the deers. Deer sausage, deer steak, they cook deer liver, right? Deer patties, deer burgers, deer everything. Deer patty, deer burger, deer mama. All right.
And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
So Jacob was making a stew.
And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same bread pottage.
So he said, man, feed me with this pottage, this soup that you making, this stew that you cooking. Go ahead.
For I am faint.
What's that, 25 what?
30. For I am faint. Therefore his name was called Edom.
So they changed his name now. You said verse what?
30.
Let me see something. It says, feeding with the same Adam, the same red. Okay. Adam. So he was famished. And he called his name Adawam, which means red. Because a lot of people say, what is this red pottage? He was making stew, feeding with the same red. Right, red is. So then his name was changed to Edom. Okay? Because most likely, the reddish was I gotta kind of think about that, man. He was starting pottage, he was boiling, was cooking stew. I gotta think about that. You know why? Because Jacob would not have been cooking meat inside of a pot that still had blood in it. Right? Would Jacob have been cooking the meat raw, putting in the pan with everything else? Enough to say it was red still? Because once you get all the blood from the meat, it starts to get kind of like a brownish color, like a gray color. Okay. So anyway, Esau likes his meat raw. Whatever the case may be, he likes his meat raw, uncooked, or a little bit cooked, with the blood in it.
Because he wants to feed on the spirit of the animal, which is what the blood represents.
And I go into different levels of witchcraft.
All
maybe
right.
something's wrong. Go ahead. Somebody. Go ahead.
And Esau's
The Most High took that. Let me say this real quick. The Most High took that spirit off of Edom, because remember he was a cunning hunter. So why couldn't he hunt that day? Why couldn't he hunt that day? See, the Most High took that spirit from up off of him, man. He couldn't hunt like he could before. He came from the field hunting and he was tired. Couldn't catch nothing that day. See, Yahweh gonna determine when your characteristics gonna be used against you or in your favor. So be careful. Make sure everything you're doing is done in the name of Yahweh, Bashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. Because you could be trying to use your skills for evil and wrong, and the Most High could zap you, shut them down. It's always the Most High that got the final say. All right, so Esau couldn't get no food that day from the field. All right.
And Jacob said, "Sell me this day your birthright."
So Jacob said, "Give me what you're supposed to inherit from our father as the firstborn son. Let me have it." Go ahead.
And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die."
So Esau said, "Man, I gotta look out for my flesh right here, right now." Go ahead.
And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
See, he exaggerated. What profit shall this birthright do me right now? This land and stuff that I'm supposed to be getting. That's not gonna help me right now. So I want it right now. I want to set this up right now. You see that? So he got it from Jacob is about to get the right to the property that Esau is supposed to get from our father Isaac. The birthright. Go ahead.
And Jacob said, "Swear to me this day." And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Yaquah.
For pottage. For stew, he sold his birthright.
Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
So Esau despised his birthright. He didn't respect and love his birthright. Go ahead.
Called Shirah,
Kala Shirah,
Debar Yahweh,
Debar Yahweh,
Na'isha,
Na'isha,
Wanashemai.
Wanashemai.
All that Yahweh said,
All that Yahweh said,
what we do in here.
what we do in here.
All right, Genesis 26, 1, 2, 5. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And Yahweh appeared unto him and said, "Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of."
So Isaac went into Abimelech, was going to post up there for a minute, and then go down into Egypt. But then Yahweh came and said, "Don't go to Egypt. I want you." See, the Most High keeps telling them to give you now. All right, go ahead.
"Sojourn in this land, I will be with thee, and will bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed.
Man.
And I formed the oath which I swear unto Abram thy father.
So he said, "Unto your seed and you, I'm gonna give all this land.
And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven.
Right.
I will give unto thy seed all these countries.
Right.
And in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed."
Right.
Verse 5. "Because that Abram obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, and my laws."
So because in your seed, all nations of the earth is gonna be blessed. Now that's going into primarily dealing with Yahweh Shai. And it means what it says, man. Through Yahweh Shai, all nations of the earth are gonna be blessed. Because through Yahweh Shai, all nations are gonna have the ability to get back to make right what Adam messed up, which is a chance to live forever, because all of us are sons of Adam. It means what it says. Through your seed, all nations of the earth shall be blessed. We think the blessed is talking about through the seed of Yahushua. How's all nations going to be blessed? Because now all nations can turn back and have a righteous example. Yahushua was sent as a prince and a savior to give repentance of sin to Israel, but he's also the example that all mankind is supposed to be following. You can't have it both ways. You can't say we all come from Adam. And then somebody says, "I come from Adam too, I want to walk like Yahushua." No, you can't walk like Yahushua because you don't come from Israel. Well, I don't come from Israel, but I'm Adam's son, and I got punished when Adam fell too. And I want to be like Adam. And so I want to walk like the second Adam which is Yahushua. You can't block that man from doing that. No matter what you say his nationality is, you can't block a man from trying to walk upright in the eyes of the Most High. And if you say, well, he's doing it for nothing, well, I'd rather have a Gentile that's trying to keep the commandments, and at the end of the day, they don't get no reward for it, than a Gentile that's doing evil and wickedness against the commandments of the Most High. Which one you want? What type of Gentile you want teaching your children at school? Serving you your food at these different restaurants that most of you shouldn't be going to. Waiting beside you at the stoplight. Owning the gun stores in America. Which ones you want? A Gentile that's trying to keep the commandments? Or a Gentile said, I'm gonna just be all out like my father Satan? Which one you want to deal with? You see, it sounds good when you're on the street teaching. But then when you're in real life situations, man, when you got foreign police pulling you over, asking you for your ID, taking you and your son to their local police station, you can't understand a word that they saying. All right? It sounds good, the white man is the devil, got no salvation in. It sounds good. But then when you actually in this man's face, and he got a choice to be either devilish or godlike towards you.
Which one you want?
Is the Most High gonna put that spirit on him to be good towards you? And or his centuries and centuries of being a certain way, acting in, trying to follow a religion that may be a wrong religion, but has some moral foundation that's stronger, definitely, than Christianity, Catholicism. All right, the moral code of Islam is a lot stronger than the moral code of Christianity and Catholicism. Okay.
Okay.
But both of them are false. But once again, if it's false, what you gonna be more comfortable with? Somebody following the falseness, or somebody trying to follow the right way? You see.
All right, that was verse 5.
All right, so Abraham obeyed. So it said on the strength of Abraham being obedient. So you being obedient to the Most High can have an effect on your children also, and how the Most High treats them. So think about that with all this foolishness. You planting seeds for your children, spiritually gonna harvest what you've been doing, what you've been putting inside the soil. And when they try to pick up from where you are, them same Malachi that Yahweh sent to help you should be the same angels that Yahweh sends to help them if they're trying to walk in that right path. Okay, so me, I do 6 through 12. So Parashah, Ban Gad, Ban Zayatan, Oliver, Ban Yasharala.
Amagwa, Barakwa.
Yablak Kami Hashem Yahusha.
Yabraka, how about Shem Yahushua?
Poet.
Commentary.
6 through 12. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him of his wife. And he said, she is my sister. For he feared to say, she is my wife. Lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting, playing around with Rebekah, his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, behold, of a surety, she is thy wife. And how sayest thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, because I said, lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, what is this that thou hast done unto me? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, he that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. And Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year, an hundredfold. And Yahweh blessed him. So once again, Isaac looking out for the punishment that could come upon him. You know, if they want his woman, he said, well, she not really my woman, she my sister. Because he didn't want to get killed and didn't want the people to, rise up against him. So he said, well, yeah, she's my sister, man. She's not really my wife or like that. She's my sister. And then Abimelech kind of got at him about that and said, man, you could have got us killed, man. Somebody could have laid with her and you could have made us guilty of all these sins, adultery, and then, that sin is a heavy price. And then, so he said, anybody touch Isaac, you dead. Or his wife, you dead. Now Isaac started gardening that year, farming. He got a big agricultural project that year. And he sold like a certain amount. All right, and whatever amount that is that he sold in the ground, the harvest that he got back had 2 zeros behind it over what he started with. So if he sold 10 pounds of corn that year, he had 1,000 pounds. If he sold 1,000 pounds that year, he got 100,000 pounds of it. So more agriculture,
Greater this year.
meant more money. More money meant better resources. Better resources meant better protection. Better protection, better mobility, more influence, with the other people that's around you. All right. So Adiyashan, 13 through 22. I'm not one, but I'm one. All right, chapter 26, verse 13 through 22.
Genesis chapter 26, verse 13. And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great.
So he kept moving forward. He kept on reinvesting his yield. I was share that with you. Let me see. Go ahead.
For he had possession of flocks and possession of herds.
See, that agriculture, man, the livestock, that's where the money was at and still is. Go ahead. Agriculture, food, basically. What?
And great store of servants. And the Philistines envied him for all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father. The Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we.
So this is a man. And he said, yo, you got too much power. You got to go somewhere, man. Mm-hmm.
And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. With him. And they digged another well, and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth, he said, For now Yahweh hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land.
Okay, so he had all the interaction with these Gentiles, and they kept trying to live off the fruit of his labor. All right, and ultimately the Most High made the Gentiles back down, but he was consistent and persistent in doing the work. The Gentiles was opposing him, taking credit for what he was doing, but he kept on doing the work. We got the record of the historical record still carries the truth of what happened and how it happened. They might have been talking this all kind of yin yang back then, or you didn't dig this, I dig this, or whatever. But we got our records, and our records are true. All right. So go ahead and do 26 to 29.
23.
Yeah, 23 to 29.
Genesis chapter 26, verse 23. And he went up from thence to Beersheba, and Yahweh appeared unto him the same night, and said, I am the Elohim of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of Yahweh, and pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army.
The same ones came to Abraham, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a new dude. But Phicol and Abimelech,
And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to see me? Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, We saw certainly that Yahweh was with thee, and we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee.
What's the problem with this oath? Reader. Didn't already make an oath with Abraham? All right, they already made an oath with Abraham. So now y'all gonna come make another oath. Why? Because y'all violated the oath. You see? They already violated the oath that they made with Abraham. So now you're gonna make another oath with me. Your wickedness and evil you've done against me has affected me and my family. We had to move around and go all these different places to make other wells. And now you said you ain't stopping me. The Most High is still with me. And I didn't want to come and say, well, man, okay, let's have an agreement amongst ourselves, man. Well, you ain't gonna bother me. Now y'all should be bothering me from the beginning. But he didn't say I'm gonna rise up and go to war against you. Isaac is playing it cool, man. War is not the first, the first response to hostility from your enemies. And our people need to understand that. That's why Scripture says give counsel before you go to war. Can Isaac survive? They're not encroaching upon his territory, because he haven't gotten the rights to that land yet. It's free, open land, tribal lands that he's just using for his flocks. And I doubt that it was like the dusty dryness that it is today.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a lot more fertile. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 29, that thou wilt do us no hurt, and we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of Yahweh.
All right, so yeah, we see the Most High, they see the Most High is with them, so now they want to say, let's be friends. You see that? All right, so Maria 26, verse 30 through...
No. I did 30. All right.
26, 30 through 27.
Amar ben Parzab and God Mash'Allah. Madvan, Barak, Neva, Kam Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai.
Yeah, Barak, Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai.
And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. And they rose up betimes in the morning, and sware one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came, and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day.
That's like in the southern part of Israel to this day. It's like the southern part of Israel. We went through Beersheba, remember?
Yeah.
To transfer at the bus.
Yeah, the bus station.
Yeah, when we came from Dimona, right?
Well,
We came from Dimona, huh?
coming from Adam. Well,
No, we came from Dimona, then we went to Beersheba, and had to transfer buses right there. But we couldn't get the direct, we missed that direct bus.
okay.
So we went to Beersheba, and it's still a city there now. A little palms there, a little bit of greenery going on. You know what I'm saying? And notice everybody's digging wells. They're digging wells. Because there's not a lot of streams and creeks and stuff flowing through there. It's just getting the water from the ground. Which the water from the ground, low key, is gonna be a little cleaner. Because underground aquifers, underground rivers and water streams, and you dig down and you tap into that underground stream. And the water gets purified from the rains and snows and all kinds of stuff in different places, coming, seeping through and saturating through the rivers and saturating through other springs from different places, and then it just comes through the ground and gets filtered down and then keeps flowing underground. You see? So we've been to these different places. So this is the south of Israel where he's at now. Not the full south by Eilat, but not too far from the tip to the bottom. What? Okay.
And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Berim, the Hittite.
All right, so they was already told not to be dealing with no Canaanite women. So now he dealing with a Canaanite woman. Go ahead.
And Bashemoth, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, which were a grief unto Isaac and to Rebekah.
So it was tripping. They said, "Why won't our son marrying these Gentile women? Hamite women."
Close out.
Kalshra,
Kalshara.
Debari Hala,
Debari Hala.
Naisha,
Naisha.
Menashemai,
Menashemai.
all that Hala said.
All that Yahweh said.
What we doing here?
What we doing here?
All right, 27 up to verse 27.
And it came to pass that when Isaac was old, and his eyes were dim,
So he couldn't see good now. His eyes were dim. Maybe he had, just something made his eyes get weak. Go ahead.
so that he could not sing, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here I am. And he said, Behold, now I am old, I am not of the day of my death.
So he's about to die. I don't know when I'm gonna die, man. I don't know when I'm gonna die, son. I'm old.
Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison, and make me savory meat.
So he wanted some game meat. All right, was probably going into the deer. Go ahead. Because this is a deer, the venison. Go ahead.
Such as I love, and bring it to me.
So Isaac loved what? He loved that meat. So, in the spirit of our father Isaac, our father Isaac wasn't into no veganism or vegetarianism, man. That ain't the spirit of Israel, man. Y'all trying to imitate these Gentiles. I'm full vegan now. I'm full vegetarian now, bragging about like it's something. Well, Abraham wasn't, Isaac wasn't, Jacob wasn't, and I'm doggone sure not trying to be.
King David what? King David Yah wasn't.
No, you can cut back on a lot of the meats that you eat.
We say balance according to the dietary
But
law.
you shouldn't say, I'm gonna just leave out all kinds of meats and fish and chicken from my diet, man. Ain't nobody in the whole scripture really done that, man. All right, go ahead. So eat the meat, but in moderation. Don't overthrow on the meat. All right. They found, sometime when in the ancient times people did eat less meat, and that could be an attributing factor to the strength and the well-being that we had in the ancient times.
Okay.
Okay.
That I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau.
So Rebekah, listen to what's going on. Go ahead.
His son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison.
Venison.
Venison. And
That's really just game meat, man. It's venison. Go ahead.
and to bring it.
Mm-hmm. So Esau's gone. Rebecca heard what was going on. What'd she do?
And Rebekah spake unto Jacob,
Now they're gonna be plotting. Let's do this thing. Go ahead.
her son,
Mm-hmm.
saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before Yahweh.
So your brother about to get that blessing. He told Esau, your father told Esau to go out there and bring him some lamb, bring him some deer meat back. But this is what we're gonna do. Go ahead.
Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, according to that which I command thee.
Mm-hmm.
Go now to the flock, and fetch me thence 2 good kids of the goats,
Go get me 2 good goats. Go ahead.
and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth.
I'm gonna make it like your father loved it. All right. She probably made some smothered goat chops or something. Had some goat, put in the pan, boiled it, and put in the pan, fried up a little bit.
But these were young goats.
Yeah, young tender goats. Then probably had some like mushrooms and some garlic and some onion, and they made like a little flour gravy with it. Smothered it. Maybe she had some bulgur, maybe some kind of bulgur, kamut, or rice or something. You know what I'm saying? Probably had some little corn cakes, known as cornbread. So she made she going all out.
She made a meal.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt bring it to thy father, so that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death.
Now I'm gonna make sure that you get the blessing. So she being tricky, she being deceitful, and it's a spirit of lying, but it all works out in the favor of the children of it works out in the favor of the children of Yasharallah. It works out in our favors. All right, go ahead.
And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother,
Mm-hmm.
Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver. And
Now, my brother is hairy. So Abba gonna find out. I'm trying to play him. But Rebecca got it figured out. Go ahead. What's she say?
And thou shalt bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched, and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved.
Mm-hmm.
And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house,
Mm-hmm.
and put them upon Jacob, her younger son.
So Esau's clothes had a certain smell to them. Certain smell.
Body odor.
Go ahead.
And she put the skins of the kids of the goats
With the hair on it, the little hair that the goats have. Go ahead.
upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck.
So when you touch his neck and touch his hand, it feels like hair. It was like thick goat's hair. That's how thick the man was. All right, go ahead.
And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father,
Uh-huh.
and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn.
So now Jacob is lying to his father. Pulling Esau down. So he's lying to his father. So Jacob was wrong. He obeying his mother and lying to his father. Go ahead.
I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaac said unto his son, How was it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because Adonai Yahweh brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son,
Mm-hmm.
whether thou be my very son Esau or not.
I shall. Go ahead.
And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him. And he said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
Mm-hmm.
And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy. and his brothers Esau's hands, as his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him, and he said, Art thou my very son Esau?
Ask him again. Go ahead.
And he said, I am.
He lied to his father to get that blessing.
And he said,
Go ahead.
And he said, Bring it near to me,
Uh-huh.
and I'll eat of my son's venison,
Right.
that my soul may bless thee.
Take a picture. Mhm. So he wanted to give the son the blessing. He said, bring me the venison, let me eat. Go ahead.
And he brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank.
So wine, bread, meat. Go ahead.
And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near, and he kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment,
Mm-hmm.
and blessed him.
So he gave him that blessing. Now the blessing that Isaac is going to give to our father Jacob is the blessing that was meant for Esau. Now the Esau blessing is different than the birthright. Okay? The blessing now is, okay, I'm going to give you this blessing, the spiritual power, the spiritual force I'm going to put upon you to aid you in your leadership, aid you in the office that you are going to fulfill. Now you can kind of take it off this stuff. All right, so now I'm going to give you this little blessing, man. All right. Okay?
And said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field.
Now you smell like, it smells like Esau. Because he got the coat and the garment like Esau and put the goat right here around his neck like Esau. All right, so he's getting out a blessing. That's that spiritual force that he's putting upon him. But the birthright is the actual inheritance of the property. Okay, go ahead.
How hath blessed. No, verse 27.
Okay. All right. Let's see. In chapter 27, right?
Okay.
Let's see, 27. All right, I actually come back from 28 through 27, 28 to 28, 40. Come on. We know who you are, man. You coming up next. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 28.
To 28, verse 4. Okay.
Come.
Go ahead.
Therefore Elohim give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth.
That means give you what you need that's going to bring resources, even when nothing's falling down. What you have on your ground level is going to be enough to bring you up. Because that's how the Most High was watering the earth. From the dew that was falling down. The dew that was coming from the earth itself. All right? The condensation. All right? Go ahead.
And plenty of corn and wine.
So give you plenty of grain and wine. All right, grain and what else? And grapes. So wheat fields, grape fields. All right, so that's showing you how the country where our people got scattered to are countries that were areas that where wine could be produced and where there was a lot of grain. You know, so when you look at the world, You know, a lot of the grain was grown by our people. The rice, all right, the wheat in the Americas, all right, starting to grow wheat on the Russian areas. A lot of our people took that stuff over there when people were expanding and spreading out onto the earth, all right. In Mexico, Central South America, that grain that they have over there, right? The grain and all of the vegetables and stuff that they make the bread with, right? Then it deals with the what did it say? The grain and the what? And the wine. Dealing with the different
The corn.
yeah, corn, which is grain. Dealing with the different varieties of what we call grain. All right. Then the wine, dealing with different varieties of grapes. Go ahead.
Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee.
That's showing how we did control Europe for 1,000 years. Okay? And the Roman Empire. From approximately 193 AD with Septimius Severus until the Ottomans, right here, took us down at Constantinople. That was us they were conquering at Constantinople, which is Istanbul today. They were conquering us. So we were ruling over this, we ruled over this part of the world. You understand the fact that what's going on is that basically when the Turkish came into power, they were basically taking over areas where we were and where we were controlling that area, controlling that zone. North Africa was controlled by Israel, Carthage. And then the Romans took us down, but we still stayed in those areas. The coastal areas, all right? Into Europe, Western Europe, our people over there. I'm sorry, Western Turkey. So they took over all the areas where we were, but we were ruling over the people. And ultimately, we're going to become the rulers of the people when we get set up as the kingdom of Yasharallah forever. Okay? Go ahead.
Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee.
So meaning all the nations, the mother's sons. All right, so going into really the sons of Jacob, or the sons of Esau are going to bow down to us. When we talk about the fatness of the earth, they're talking about the richness and the fatness and the oils of the earth. That's why we have some of the largest untapped oil places on the earth, mainly going into Brazil, into South America, but also going into Canada, which belonged to us, the tribe of Gad, that they stole. So all that oil they're getting from Canada up there belongs to us. That's ours. That land that was given to us, I should say. But we can't trip because, you know, we tricked Esau. We took advantage of Esau and took his birthright. And then we lied to our father and got the blessing. And Esau was like, okay, I'm going to get you back. Wait till you get in the other side of the world. I'm going to come over there and tear your behind up. And that's what he did. When we got to Canada, he tore us up. Got to America, he tore us up. He destroyed us. Mexico, South America, Brazil, he destroyed us. And we want to look back innocent like, well, we didn't do nothing. Yes, you did. Our father Jacob lied to get the blessing that was supposed to go to Esau. Let's be fair. Don't call yourself a just people try to sweep what Jacob did under the rug like it wasn't wrong, he shouldn't have done it. It was wrong what he did. Esau had nothing good or bad against him yet. But the Most High already had a purpose that each one was going to play. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh, according to who he elected, was going to be what determined how each was going to be and what they were going to do. Not because of the works they were did, but because of Yahweh determining what they were going to do, because he called them to be in that role that they were in. So Esau and Jacob are operating under the control of Yahweh. Ultimately, that's what it goes down to. With the good and the bad and the ugly, it's all being controlled under what Yahweh wants to do. But Esau came to this part of the world and undid all of the advantages that we thought we would have. So when it said that they're going to bow down to us, they did that in the Roman Empire. Septimius Severus was an Israelite from Leptis Magnus, right, which is called also Tunisia, which was part of the old Carthaginian Empire. Carthage, which is a Hebrew word, Qarath Kadash, which means new city. It's an Israelite town, Israelite city, Israelite empire that Hannibal built up. Hannibal is a Kanan Ba'al, which means gracious Lord. His father name was Hannibal Barca, or Hamilcar Barca. Barca is Barak, which means a gleaming sword, or something that's gleaming, shining. So it's all Hebrew names over there. You can tell me they were Philistines. They weren't Israelites. They just had Israelite names and Israelite names for their town, Israelite personal names. You see, so the nations bowed down to us at that time period. And then when Septimius Severus came into power in 193 AD, you understand? When he came into power in 193 AD in the Roman Empire, one of the first things he did was get rid of the Praetorian Guard and put in his own men from his own areas where he trusted. Not from Latium or Ireland, or put a little bit of Germans in there, brothers from Germany in there. Okay. So it's all about a military strategy. And that's how they conquered. Okay, that's how they conquered, military strategy. And our people, the only thing we know how to do now is just teach the Bible. We know absolutely nothing about running a government, about building a nation, about functioning as a body. Our people too busy playing church in order to absorb the lessons that we read inside of this Bible. They say the Bible is not a religious book. It's a book of history, prophecies, and commandments. That's what they say, right? But then all they use it for is religious purposes. To wake up people. Okay, we wake up. Okay, now what we're going to do? I got to use the bathroom. I need toilet paper. I need water. I need undergarments on my body. I need clothes. All right? I need health services for males and female members of my family. All right? I need resources to be able to eat and to go from point A to point B. See, these are things that a nation looks at, but these are not things that most of our people as Israelite leaders are looking at. They're looking at how to get money from you, how to pay for things that they think are good ideas and from God. Well, I say if God is giving you all these good ideas, let God be the one to show you how to make the idea come to pass. And stop begging God's poor people for money, right? That makes sense, right? You like the passage. The Lord told me he needs everybody to give $1,000 before the end of the month. All 1,000 members need to give $1,000 for the end of the month. It's coming from God. Got nothing to do with it. Don't shoot the messenger. So 1,000. Okay, 1 0 is 2,000. 2 zeros is 1 0 is 10,000. 2 more zeros is 100,000. 3 zeros on 1,000 is what? What's 3 zeros on 1,000?
100,000.
So what's 3 zeros on 1,000? 1, comma, or dot, 0, 0, 0, dot, or comma, 0, 0, 0 is how much?
$1 million.
That's what I need, $1 million to stay alive. God told me. You see that? And that's what I'm saying. Like, we dealing with this is the model. But what we're doing as Israelite teachers, students, and leaders, we're using the model of the Israelite American Catholic Church model, which is based on what? Give, give, give. Or just based on fanatical evangelism with no social or economic or even health construct as even part of it. I mean, even Seventh-day Adventists come with a health program. Even the Catholic Church got things set up for marriages. Even the so-called white man got businesses, schools, and economy set up as calling themselves Jewish people. What do we have? We just a bunch of preachers. That's it. Everything we do, we got to send our people to our enemies that we don't trust, that hate our guts, But then we the people of God. We God's chosen people. Begging the so-called white man for a room at a hospital. There ain't no Israelite hospitals in the whole nation of America. I had to leave America to go to an Israelite hospital. I've never really been to one. Never been to the hospital in Mexico they got been in clinics up in Mexico, which is run by Israelites, probably owned by people that's not from there at all. All right. But we don't have nothing. We got to get these things, man. And what's the point of we reading about? The scripture says that, verse 29, people will serve you and will bow down at you. Bow down to you, right? That's what it said. But we no longer looking at that greatness that the Most High has put upon us. We're looking at different reasons and crutches why this doesn't say what it says. All right. Go ahead.
Cursed be everyone that curseth thee.
So you cursed us as the children of Israel, you cursed. So all you brothers out there that's saying that the indigenous people in the Americas are not Israelites, you're bringing a curse on. That's a curse. You're bringing a curse on yourself. All you people saying that black people in America aren't Israelites, you're bringing a curse on yourself, man. You're obsolete and irrelevant in the equation of positive growth and building right now. Because you cursed, you bringing a curse on yourself. Because you cursed the children of Israel. And what?
And blessed be he that blesseth thee.
So any nation, individual, peoples that bless us like how? I love you, Israelites, man. I'm sorry I had to go through what y'all went through. And your whole thing is like, back in the day, well, put some money in that bucket. So they put $100, $200 in. Oh yeah. Okay, what's your occupation? Well, I'm a doctor. Okay, what type of medicine? What type of? Oh, it's general practice. Okay, where's your office at? Oh, it's in Staten Island. Okay. You say the condition of our people? Okay. Well, we're gonna send a brother down there to you. We're gonna send a couple of brothers down there, maybe a sister. They're gonna just shadow you. They're gonna learn to do what you're doing down there. You're gonna take them on as interns. And they're gonna learn what you know about the medical profession. Whatever you know practically in the medical profession, you're gonna teach them. You have and that's how we grow the nation. By sharing and building skills and resources amongst ourselves, whether they come from Gentiles or whether they come from Israelites. Could be a Hindu doctor in Staten Island. Let's have him work for Israel and build up and show Israel what they need to do. Could be a Hindu doctor in Tamil Nadu. Okay, let's send some people over to him to learn Ayurvedic, natural healing medicine. Let's take a brother from Jamaica, or take a brother from St. Croix, Barbados. Let's take a brother like Patrick Delves and have him go over there and learn what they learn and blend it all together. Bring what they know about the medical, natural, holistic medicine from the West and the islands and from the East on the subcontinent of India. And let's bring it together. And now let's blend that and see how much more healing we can do. See, these are things that we have to look at and do as a nation, as a people. Right? Because everybody talk this nation stuff. But then when somebody gets sick, you go run into your enemies. Because you don't have enough communication. It's not that we don't have medical professionals. It's that we're not structured and organized enough to care to organize and structure them to help us. You see? So this is what we're looking at as a nation. So that's how they're going to get blessed. The nations and the Israelites are going to get blessed by blessing us. Shemitic, Hamitic, and Japhetic people are going to get blessed if they bless the children of Israel. If they curse the children of Yasharallah, they're going to get a curse from the Most High. Now go ahead.
And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Where is he that hath taken?
Wait. I thought you just got a blessing from me, man. Who that was just came in here and said that was you? Go ahead.
And brought it me, and I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed.
Just pull it straight out. Pull it straight out.
And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a bitter and exceeding bitter cry, with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also.
Yaquab cursed. Yaquab stole the blessing from me. So he said, okay, bless him. Bless me now, Father. My brother took the blessing unfairly. He took it wickedly. He lied. Go ahead.
And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times.
He has taken my heel 2 times. Go ahead.
He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?
Right.
And Isaac answered and said unto Esau,
Yeah, I got a little bit of blessing left over for you, son. Go ahead.
Behold, I have made it thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants.
So all of our brothers supposed to be ours as servants. Esau, these Edomites are all around us. They're supposed to be serving us. Supposed to be our servants. And that's why you had guys like John Brown that was truly in this spirit. The Edomite guy that rose up with the Harper's Ferry Rebellion, right? Like, man, we're going to free these slaves by armed uprising. That's why you have the Edomite French guys and French Revolution and the Haitian Revolution fighting for Levi on the island of Haiti. It wasn't just Israelites fighting down there. It was Edomites fighting with the Israelites in France. In Haiti. They were fighting. All right. So these Edomites that we're reading about, they're the ones that's trying to serve Jacob. They see Jacob as, either an equal or a lord. See, it's different. It was more at stake then. The evils that Esau was doing were a lot more clear to see. You can't really see them now because they hide it so well. Okay? Yeah, y'all gonna have schools, but we still gonna have you in the ghettos. And your school's gonna get less money. School teachers is not trained as well. Okay, go ahead.
And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live.
Meaning you're going to be able to conquer people in war. Go ahead.
And shalt serve thy brother.
But you're going to serve Jacob also. So Esau was serving us for years. Okay? He served us under the ladder, under the, when we were controlling the Roman Empire. He served us when we became the Byzantine Empire. And that's what you have to understand. The Ottoman Empire picked up where the Byzantine Empire left off at. What we had already established and built up. They picked up where we left off at. All right, go ahead.
And shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing
So now Esau hate us. Read.
wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay Jacob, my brother Jacob.
Go ahead.
And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah. And she sent and called Jacob her younger son,
Mm-hmm.
and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth come for himself, purposing to kill thee. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise, flee thou to Laban thy brother, to Haran,
Mm-hmm.
and tarry with him a few days, until thy brother's fury turn away,
Right.
until thy brother's anger turn away from thee,
Mm-hmm.
and he forget that which thou hast done to him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a daughter of the daughters of Heth, if Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are the daughters of the land, what good shall they do? Shall my life do me?
So now she's saying, like, I don't like that, I don't want Jacob around here because he might take one of these Hamite women. Go ahead.
Kalashara,
Kala Shara,
the Bar Yahweh,
the Bar Yahweh,
Na'isha,
Na'isha,
Wanashemai.
Wanashemai.
All they Yahweh said,
All that Yahweh said,
what we doing here?
what we doing here. All right, verse 1 through 4.
Genesis chapter 28, verse 1 through 4. And Isaac called Jacob, and blessed him, and charged him, and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan.
Mm-hmm.
Arise, go to Padanaram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother.
So remember when we first encountered Rebecca, she has a lot of headstrong characteristics, remember? The very subtle ones, you know what I'm saying? She had a lot of headstrong, and that headstrongness is what led her into thinking that she's gonna lie to her husband to steal something that was her son's. Because she think that the Most High telling her that the one nation is gonna be greater than the other nation, your son's gonna serve the other son, and that justifies her doing it that way. So it could have been done another way. We don't know how, but it could have been done another way. All right, go ahead.
And Elohim Almighty
But don't take no women from these Hamites. Go ahead.
bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people.
Take a wife from Laban, your mother's brother. All right, your uncle. Go marry one of his daughters. All right, go ahead.
And give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which Elohim gave unto Abraham.
All right, so you're gonna inherit this land. All right, where the Most High gave it to Abraham. All right. What you're talking about from southern part of Israel down by Egypt, all the way up, okay, until where Lebanon is today, in the east of there, going toward Jordan, then touching on Syria. All right, so that land right there. Even in the western part of Jordan also. Remember, the land was east and west of Jordan. Right now, the land is basically just west of Jordan. But before, it was on the eastern side and the western side of the Jordan River. Okay. Zayatan.
Omarwa, Barak,
Yabrakakaya Hawbashim Yahshua. Chapter 28, verse 5 through 9.
Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to
Let's say Padanaram. Is that
Padanaram.
what it says? Okay.
unto Laban, son of Bethuel,
Mm-hmm.
the Syrian,
Mm-hmm.
the brother of Rebecca, Jacob's and Esau's mother. And when Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padanaram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan, and that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother and was gone to Padanaram.
So they told him, don't take a wife of the daughters of the Canaanites. Go get one of the Hebrew women, meaning take a woman who got a common ancestry as you have. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac, his father,
Mm-hmm.
then went Esau unto
Mm-hmm.
Ishmael and
Mhm.
took unto the wives.
And took unto what? Say took or took unto?
Took unto the wives which he had Mahalath,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mahalath, go ahead.
daughter of Ishmael, Abraham, Ham's son, the sister of Nebajoth,
Mm-hmm.
to be his wife. And Jacob went.
Wait, that's cool. That's where it ends at. What's that verse? Verse 9 right there. All right, so Esau, so Jacob went and got a new living place with Laban, and then he eventually going to end up marrying our mothers, our four mothers, which is Rebecca, which is Rachel, Leah, Bilhah, and Zilpah. These are our mothers. We have Abraham. We have Abraham's wife, Sarah, Jacob's wife, Isaac, which is our mother. Then we had Rachel, Leah, Bilhah, and Zilpah as our mothers also. Then we have Aseneth as the mother of Ephraim and Manasseh, which are Joseph's children. Okay, so we have seven main mothers of the 12 tribes. And we have seven main mothers from the main tribes, and we have Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph as the four main fathers of the 12 tribes. Because remember, Judah became a tribe, Judah became a tribe, Gad became a tribe, Benjamin became a tribe, but then you have You have Ephraim and Manasseh that became the tribe, but from Jacob's son Joseph. You know, so not directly from Jacob. Hmm? Go ahead. You have to leave it like that. I mean, you have to leave it like that though. Just plug it at the bottom. Might have to hang it off a little bit. I don't know. All right, so that's that Torah portion right there. All right. Now we go into now we go into the Haftorah, which is looks like it's Malachi 1, right? Malachi 1. All right, Malachi 1. 1:1 through 2:7. Get that straight in first of all. Should be okay like that for a minute. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to everybody that says Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, hallelujah. Got the Torah portion for Malachi. All right, so let's go into the book of Malachi. All right, Amadi, let's go to Malachi to chapter 1, verse 1. Malachi 1:1. All right, read that. So we're going into the Torah portion dealing with the book of Malachi. And of course, Malachi was Malachi is a prophet. But Yahweh came to Malachi to talk to Malachi about what was going on with Esau and Jacob, man. The Most High is going to show us, you know, through the book of Malachi, how he feels about Edom and Esau, and what he's going to do. You know, dealing with Esau and dealing with Jacob also, how he feels about both. So let's go on to Genesis. Let's go on to the book of Malachi. Let's go on to chapter 1, the Haftorah, which is the Torah portions accompanying Haftorah is the Torah portion accompanying reading that deals with the same subject, the same theme that we see in the Torah. It's kind of like an abbreviated or a reference point that draws the same spirit or gives the same moral lesson, or even expands upon what's being taught and discussed inside of the Torah portion. Everybody understand that, right? Okay. We go into the book of Malachi. Let's start with chapter 1, verse 1. Read that.
The burden of the word of Yahweh to Yasharallah by Malachi.
So this thing is going to be very heavy. That Malachi is the Most High is giving Malachi. That Malachi is about to break down, about to instruct us and teach us about what the Most High feels and what the Most High, you know, has to say. Right. Okay, what did he say?
I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet you say.
So the Most High say, I loved you. I love Jacob. Go ahead.
Yet you say. Wherein hast thou loved us?
Man, we being oppressed, we being ran over, we being beat down. Okay? How do I love you? That's the same thing our people now. That same way our people now are talking ignorantly. There is no God. If there was a God, then we wouldn't have been enslaved. You see that? Same thing. Malachi saying the same, but he's not saying it in such a disrespectful way. He's saying, well, how do you love this? Go ahead.
Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
Mm-hmm.
Saith Yahweh. Yeah, I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau.
I what?
Hated Esau.
So Yahweh says, I hated Esau. So Moses says that he hated Esau. What was the first reason why the Most High hated Esau? Because Esau hated Jacob. Jacob did wrong, but Scripture never said Jacob hated Esau. Esau hated Jacob, and Most High started hating Esau. The Most High hated Esau. He says, I hated Esau. Go ahead.
And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
Now this is going into the things that he had built up. Remember, Esau had built up that whole area, Petra, Jordan, right? He built that area up, Mount Seir. He built it up. He laid it waste for the who?
The dragons of the wilderness.
So when you go into the book of Second Esdras, chapter 16, it talks about the dragons of Arabia, the dragons of the wilderness, going into the so-called Arab Ishmael. So Ishmael is going to come in and occupy the area where Edom was living at. That's what this is talking about. Esau is going to come in, all right, set up an area. The Most High going to lay it waste for who? For the dragons of the wilderness. The dragons of the wilderness is going into the dragons of Arabia. The dragons of the wilderness talking about the people that lived in that wilderness area, which were the children of Ishmael, the children of Midian, the Midianites. All right, go ahead.
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished.
So the so-called white man said, we are poor. We don't have resources. We are poor. What's the ultimate highest level of poverty? What's the highest level of poverty? Physically. What's the highest level of physical poverty? Huh? What's the highest level of poverty? Just as a human being. How do you guarantee your poverty? By not having what? By not having what? By not having what? By not having what? You guarantee your poverty by not having what? La. You guarantee your poverty by not having land. By not having land. I mean, you can have money, but remember that, like the scripture say in Psalms chapter 27, verse 24, 25, riches shall not endure forever, and the crown does not endure to every generation. Right? The grass grows and then the hay appears. Right? So what do you want? Because you're going to take that money and buy what? Buy food. Where's the food coming from you buying? Huh? And where's the money coming from? How they make the money? By minerals and metals from and trees and things that grow from the ground. So you guarantee. So our people have been set up in America, mostly in America, and in the big cities in the Americas, Turtle Island, the big cities in America, Central South America, Caribbean. They've been set up to be constantly impoverished. Why? Because they want you to come to the cities, leave the land behind, and come to the cities. Make money to go buy food that they manufacturing on land. Leave this country, come to the city to work at a factory that was built on somebody's what? Land and bought with money. You see that? So they want you not to have land. So the highest level, one of the highest levels of Esau's poverty was the Most High having him in a place where he was going to be lacking growing seasons, lacking agricultural resources. All right? You go outside of America, you can grow stuff all year round. I mean, you go outside of Europe, all year round you're growing stuff. You go into Africa, you go into Asia, you go to parts of Asia, India, China, to grow things year round. Even though they have cold season and high mountains in these places, but they have places where they can grow all year round. Most of Europe, you can't grow all year round. It's like a barren wilderness. You grow stuff, little small growing season. Okay?
But we will return and build the desolate places.
So Esau said, I'm going to be back. I'm going to build up these desolate places. I'm going to build up the areas where I was, but where I got kicked out. Didn't he take over Israel from us again? The white man's in Israel now. Esau is in Israel now. He took it from us. He's back in Israel. So the Most High said he's going to build, Edom is going to build the desolate places. And that's what he did. He built up the land of Israel with agricultural witchcraft. Right? He built up the desolate desert of Las Vegas, right? He building up the desert like it's a regular city. Right, go ahead.
Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
He gonna throw down Israel, with the white man is in Israel. He gonna throw down Las Vegas. He gonna throw down everything the so-called white man has built up. All of his accomplishments are gonna crumble down into dust. Why? Because it was not built in righteousness. It was built in blood. It was built in wickedness. It was built in disobedience to Yahweh's commandments and laws. And Yahweh's going to judge him for that. Read. Qur'an.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
The border. So everything, every kind of wickedness that's inside of the world is contained inside of Edom. They are called the border of wickedness. So all wickedness is contained inside them. Go ahead.
And the people against whom
The
Yahweh,
people, the whole people, the nation of Edom, what?
against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever.
Go ahead.
And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, Yahweh will be magnified from the border of Yasharallah. A son honoreth his father, and his servant his master. If then I be a father, where is mine honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear? Saith Yahweh of hosts unto you. O priests that despise my name, and ye say, wherein have we despised thy name? Ye offer polluted bread unto mine altar, and ye say, wherein have we polluted thee? And that ye say, the table of Yahweh is contemptible, and ye offer the blind for sacrifice. Is it not evil? And ye offer the lame and sick. Is it not evil? Offer it now unto thy governor. Will he be pleased with thee, or accept thy person? Saith Yahweh of hosts.
So they were keeping the good stuff for themselves, the priests were. And giving the Most High the leftover stuff. Giving Yahweh the leftover. Keeping the good stuff for themselves. And Yahweh saying, you won't give this unto your physical, your earthly rulers, why are you giving it to me? Bringing a blind sheep, saying, here, King Amaria, here's a blind sheep. Here's a crippled sheep, King Amaria, dragging in the sheep because he can't walk. Go ahead.
And now I pray you, beseech Elohim, that he will be gracious unto us. This hath been by your means. Will he regard your persons, saith Yahweh of hosts? Who is there even among you that would shut the doors for naught? Neither do ye kindle fire on mine altar for naught.
So they kindled the fire, even they would kindle the fire on the Sabbath, and that was right to do. They had to do that. So this is what it means when Yahweh Shai says, you pollute the Sabbath, that the priests pollute the Sabbath and are held guiltless. They profane the Sabbath. So they break one of the Sabbath ordinances by what? By kindling a fire on that altar. But he's saying you're doing it for nothing. Why? Because I'm not accepting your sacrifices. Go ahead.
I have no pleasure in you, saith Yahweh of hosts. Neither will I accept an offering at your hand. For from the rising of the sun, even unto the going down of the same, my name shall be great among the Gentiles.
So the Most High says his name is going to be great. Now he's talking to Israel. Cierra la cortina. He's saying, look, man, Israel is going off, y'all wicked. But then he's saying that my name is going to be great. Por eso la puerta también. He's saying that my name is going to be great among the Gentiles. He said, my name is going to be great among the Gentiles. That's meaning the other nations, man. He said, my name is going to be great amongst the other nations. Why? Because y'all done polluted the whole system. So this is going into the understanding of Romans chapter 11. Go ahead.
And in every place incense shall be offered unto my name, and the pure offering for my name shall be great among the heathen.
So his name is going to be great among the heathen. Among the other nations, Yahweh's name is going to be great and righteous. Go ahead.
Saith Yahweh of hosts.
Mm-hmm.
But ye have profaned it, in that ye say, the table of Yahweh is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even his meat, is contemptible. Ye said also, behold, what a weariness in it is it, and ye have snuffed at it, saith Yahweh of hosts.
Mm-hmm.
And ye brought that which was torn, and the lame, and the sick. Thus ye brought an offering.
So you're doing something for the Most High, but you're doing it halfway, and you're breaking the rules. So you're polluting, trying to do it in the name of doing something to please the Most High. Go ahead.
Should I accept this of your hand, saith Yahweh? But cursed be the deceiver, whom hath in his flock a male, and voweth, and sacrificeth unto Yahweh a corrupt thing.
So he's saying you curse now for doing these things. Go ahead.
For I am a great king, saith Yahweh. For I am a great king, saith Yahweh of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen.
And the heathens hate the name of Yahweh. It puts dread. I don't want to say they hate it, but it's dreadful among them. They fear him. His power, the ones that he's talking about in this particular chapter. But our people that knew him intimately were doing so many violations against his commandments and laws. Right? Let's go to chapter 2 and go to verse 7.
And now, O ye priests, this commandment is for you. If ye would not hear, and if ye would not lay it to heart, to give glory unto my name, saith Yahweh of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. Yea, I have cursed them already, because you did not lay it to heart.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I will corrupt your seed, and spread dung upon your faces.
Humiliating defeat and disrespect. Go ahead.
Even the dung of your swollen feet, and no one shall take you away with that.
And one shall take you away with it.
And one shall take you away with that.
And it's how, remember when they attacked us in Jerusalem, okay? The Romans in 70 AD, remember it was during the Parashah, it was during Passover. It was during Passover. So the Most High took that solemn feast and had people dying. And that led to everybody, people trying to eat dung, eat babies, eat people that died, cannibals. Your people were eating dead bodies because of the affliction and the punishment that Yahweh put upon them for their disobedience. Go ahead.
And ye shall know that I have sent this commandment unto you, that my covenant might be with Levi,
Mm-hmm.
saith Yahweh of hosts. My covenant was with him of life and peace, and I gave them to him for the fear wherewith he feared me, and was afraid before my name.
Mm-hmm.
The law of truth was in his mouth, and iniquity was not found in his lips. He walked with me in peace and equity, and did turn many away from iniquity.
So you Levites supposed to be teaching on a higher level when it comes to these commandments. when it comes to the laws of Yahweh. Read.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
and they should seek the law at his mouth.
So we supposed to be coming. So all you Levites trying to set up camps and do everything everybody else is doing. You supposed to be on a higher level, man. You supposed to be teaching the laws, teaching the commandments, masters of the Hebrew, masters of biblical concepts. You supposed to be rivaling. You supposed to be rivals unto Simle and unto Rashi and unto Maimonides. You're supposed to be rivaling all of these ancient Torah scholars. And people are supposed to be coming to you to try to understand the law. People are supposed to be getting knowledge of the Torah from you. But a lot of you Levites usually want to imitate what everybody else is doing. And there's no evolution, there's no growing into the tribe and the office of Levi. You want to just go up and set up a camp and join the camp like everybody else. You don't want to say, okay, okay, Parashah, or okay, Zaquan, or okay, this brother, that brother. I want you to really show me these Torah concepts, man, so I can fulfill my office as a Levite, so people can seek the law at my mouth. And then when we try to talk to different Levites, they too busy doing other things and worrying about everybody else's business and camp affairs and Israelite politics and people that have been hurt and wounded, that they end up neglecting their office. See, you want to put them in a position to help the nation, but they want to be focused on small things that are not what they've been called to do, which is okay to do, to focus on small things, but not at the expense of the calling that Yahweh have said you're supposed to be doing. Scripture says they should seek the law at his mouth, for he is the what? Messenger of Yahweh of hosts. So that's what the scripture says is supposed to happen. But what's happening? Levi messes up the law. They stumble at the law. They don't deal with the law. They want to follow Judah and follow Judah's organizations, Judah school, Benjamin schools. You know, if you were Levite, man, you got a special job to raise up Levi in the Torah. Not to try to, there should be somebody over on that island trying to wake up Levi there, so Levi from there can be dispatched to all other parts of the globe, that we can send them, wake up our people. Let's not even say the globe yet. Let's start with the Caribbean. Well, let's start with Central and South America. You know how many Levites are in the Dominican Republic that speak Spanish? They can go into South America and Central America and help our people to understand who they are and what their job is. Okay. So lastly, let's go to Matthew chapter 21. Matthew chapter 10. Matthew chapter 10, verse 21 through 38.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 21. And the brother shall deliver up.
What verse you in?
Verse 21.
Go ahead.
And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death.
You see that? Your own brother, man. From your mother's womb and from your congregation and school, they're going to sell y'all out, man. They're going to deliver you to death. And you trusting them now. So you don't know these people that you rocking with right now, man. You're going to teach on the street with them. That's all you know. Y'all got some things y'all agree with. Everybody's trying to build up a camp or organization, but you don't really know these people at the end of the day. What's their habits? What foods do they like? Are they loyal? And a lot of your brothers in one camp, another camp, y'all don't got no loyalty, man. Instead of staying and working it out, whatever problem you have with this other man, I'm going to go leave and do my own thing. You want to say the most I led you to do it. And some of y'all brothers have good reasons to leave the organization and the that you were with, because they were totally out of line, not just trying to be selfish and you egotistical. You want to leave from these brothers and up your own zone. That's wicked as heck, man. Shouldn't be doing that. We a nation. How you going to grow if you keep dividing? And the more you divide, the less communication, the less order, the less focus we have as a nation. Go ahead.
And the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death.
You see that? Children will rise up against their parents. So your little 25-year-old son that's in your house, 25-year-old daughter that's in your house, 25 years old, 35 years old, and you in the truth, and they ain't in the truth, they're gonna rise up against you, man. Cause you to get put to death. Why? Because you don't want to run your household according to the laws, commandments, and statutes of the Most High. If anybody don't want to walk in righteousness and obey Yahweh, they should not be a part of your household if they are a human being that is of sound mind. You see that? Sound mind, making a conscious decision to say, I don't want to do what Yahweh said to do. They shouldn't be a part of your household. Remove that possibility, that liability from your zone, from your area, and then keep moving forward, all right, in places and movements, places and knowledge where Yahweh wants you. All right, go ahead.
And you shall be hated of all men for my name.
And everybody gonna hate us. All men, for the sake of Yahweh Shai, because you're trying to do his will and do his work. Go ahead.
But he that endureth to the end shall be saved.
Only if you endure to the end will you get that salvation. Endure to the end meaning what? Just, I'm going to endure. Endure to the end meaning ups and downs, good points, bad points, friends and enemies, all right, against all sorts of acquaintances and betrayals. All right, read that part again. Enduring, right?
But he that endureth to the end shall be saved.
So you only get that salvation if you endure to the end. Endure yourself. Endure your own emotions, your own bitterness, your own anger that's eating you up on the inside. And at the same time, a lot of people distracting you to look at angry type of issues, but then you're breaking the commandments. I mean, you're not focused on keeping the commandments. All right? And you feel justified in breaking the commandments. All right, go ahead.
But when they persecute you in the city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you.
Is that what people do? No. They get persecuted in their city, and they stay in their city. I'm going to just stay in my city. You got to make your round. All the areas where you live, they got to hear this word and this gospel. All of the earth, all of the nations got to hear it. Go ahead.
For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel.
You should not go over all the cities of Israel. Go ahead.
Till the Son of Man be come.
That means that Yahweh Shai is going to return before we have woken up all our people in Israel. Before we have gone to tell the cities in Israel about, meaning what? We have brothers and sisters that are in Israel that need to hear this truth too. All right, and we've gone to them, and we have to go to them even more. Go ahead.
The disciple is not above his master.
So if Yahweh Shai did it, you don't get the luxury to say, I'm going to just sit back in my house, have a church, and I'm going to meet with brothers once a week, and we're going to go teach every so often. That's a luxury. You act like you're above Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai, man, all up and down the highway. This was first. Paul, up and down the highway. Man, I'm a tent maker. You got some work and make some tent. And I'm going to go teach at this city, this city, this city, this city, this city. Go ahead.
Nor the disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord.
Mm-hmm.
It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord.
Mm-hmm.
If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of his household?
So they talked against Yahweh, so they're going to talk against you too. What verse you in?
Verse 26.
You sure?
Come,
All right, tell me you're 38.
come.
Go ahead.
Fear them not therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed.
All the little secrets y'all trying to cover up, doing this work sneakily and trying to get the people's money and trying to sell products to them, that's going to be uncovered. A lot of you brothers, man, that think you leaders now, you're going to be at the back of the line. You're going to be getting lashes across your back in the wilderness, man, for all the evil and wickedness. That's what Scripture said, the servant going to be beat. You brothers that know you're taking advantage of Israel trying to get money, you got lust in your spirit.
And that shall not be known.
Mm-hmm.
What I tell you in darkness, that speak ye in light.
No secret doctrines. What I tell you in the darkness, go speak it to everybody. Go ahead.
And what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye upon the housetops.
Mm-hmm.
And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul.
So you fear Yahweh. Go ahead.
But rather fear him that is able to destroy both body and soul in hell.
Which means Yahweh can destroy your body and your soul in hell. In fire. Go ahead.
Are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing, and one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father?
Mm-hmm.
But the very hairs of your head are all numbered.
Go ahead.
Fear ye not, therefore, ye are of more value than many sparrows. Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be of his own household.
So your own family, your own wife, husband, children, those are going to be your main enemies in the last days, man. All right. So Yahweh said he didn't come to bring a peace. He didn't come to bring peace, but a sword. Meaning what? He come to make the distinction, the separation between those that love him and those that love him first and foremost, above and before everything, and those that don't love him. If you working and breaking commandments on the Sabbath, if you saying it's okay for me to cook and me to work on the Sabbath because we in captivity, if you buying and selling, catching a train, a bus on the Sabbath, you don't love Yahweh. You don't love Yahweh because you're not obeying what he said to do. You have a good reason why you don't have to listen to him, right? You got a good reason. Go ahead.
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me.
So you love your mother, your father more than him, meaning what? You're going to do something that's going to please them. Go ahead, read it. Keep reading.
And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
I love my son or daughter. You know why? I got to break the Sabbath to put food and a roof and clothes on over my children's head, on their back, and on the table. So I'm not gonna love Yahweh and keep this commandment. I'm gonna break this commandment so that my children can have food. So you love your children more than the Most High. Who they love more than me is what?
Is not worthy of me.
You ain't worthy to call yourself a Yasha'Allah, man. If you keep using your children, using your wife or husband as an excuse to think that it's okay to break the commandments. Go ahead.
And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me.
Meaning you better be ready to go to the persecution and to take it like a soldier of Yahushua when the time comes. That's what it means to take up your cross and follow him. When the time comes that you're supposed to be persecuted, you got to go through it. When the time comes you might have to get beaten for being righteous and obedient, you got to take your beating. Don't be a punk. Don't be a sellout. Don't be scared of death. Because when you die, and you die in disobedience to Yahweh, Yahweh is going to destroy your body and your soul. So it's better to die. Take that pain. Take that homelessness. Take that hunger. Take that arguing and people talking against you. Take it. Because your reward is going to be greater than any evil anybody could ever do to you. Because Yahweh is the master of time, of death, and of life. And it's he that decides what's going to happen to you for eternity. Not no man. So fear him over and above everything. If not, death is going to be waiting for you. Death will be your reward. So fear him. Obey him. Do what he said to do. All right? If not, then the Most High is going to bring judgment. And we don't want that judgment. It's so easy to just do the right thing. It's so easy just to please him and to love him. And you're not gonna have all the answers. You're not gonna be sure about everything. It's gonna be you want to try and experiment within life, but save yourself the drama and the headache. Because once you start going down, once you start, anybody ever like, put their foot in mud and put their foot in water and tried to stop yourself, but you just kept on going? Has that ever happened to anybody? You might try to slip and fall, and you just keep on falling. That's what it is when you go into sin. You think that I'm gonna go in this sin, I'm gonna stop myself, and you just keep on going. That's how people get addicted to cigarettes, to crack, and to weed. I'm gonna just smoke a little bit, and then they body, oh, I need some more. Give me more. Give me more. All right, and they just keep on drinking or keep on smoking, whatever habit they have. I keep reading. What verse you in?
Verse 38.
Go ahead.
And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
So you got to take up your cross and follow Yahweh, or you're not worthy of Yahweh. Plain and simple. Take up your cross meaning, what excuse did Yahweh make when he was about to die on that cross? None. So what excuse is he gonna accept when you give? Oh, I was in captivity, so I had to break the commandment. Oh, I lived in the other side of town. Yeah, I lived in Jamaica, or I lived in Hollis, or I lived in Bushwick. I lived in Bed-Stuy. I lived in Brownsville, and the school was all the way up in the Bronx. So I had to catch a train up there on the Sabbath day. You understand, Lord, because that's when we had the Sabbath convocation, and I got to buy and sell and get on this unclean train on your holy day, because that's what you want me to do. The Most High don't want you to do that. Most High wants you to be where you need to be at. That's what always amazes me about people, is that if you know you got to be at this place for the Sabbath, why don't you go there and stay overnight? And then you be there in the morning, and you don't got to worry about catching no trains or no buses or spending or buying and selling on a holy day. Why don't you do that? Don't that make more sense? Doesn't that make more sense? So let's do that. There's ways around disobedience. Once you decide in your mind you're not gonna break the commandments, then Yahweh, the Holy Spirit, wisdom, will start to give you different ideas and show you different ways where you can do the right thing and be obedient to the Most High. Okay? So remember, and if you don't do it right, that type of thing is going to cause you into having people sell you out. Like the scripture says, parents are going to be delivering children unto death. The scripture says that a man's enemies are going to be of his own household. Children are going to be delivering parents unto death, it said, right? That's because you creating a circle that includes people that don't keep the commandment. That's why I always tell people, man, if you don't want to keep the commandment, you stay over there. I'm not dealing with you at all on levels of safety and security. Okay. All right, so that's it. So once again, the next new moon is 12/25. The next special day we have is 12/19. All right, so go ahead and let's shut everything down.